Hey guys, RTT here with the penultimate video before I do the game changers. Unfortunately, I have to start this video with an apology. After talking over with the team that I will be working with and like gaming with, like that on that for that 24-hour period, I have had to make the decision not to live stream. I know I'm really upset and I'm really like quite annoyed that I can't live stream it, but at the same point, I know I had to look out for like everyone who watches. And for example, there are certain games that react that enact a very I don't want to. They cause a very uncertain response during when me and my brother play it. And as much as we would love to have given you like the true kind of core of of what it's like when me and my brother and my mum game together, it's not in the best interests of everyone if if we live stream it. But instead, I have come to a compromise, which is every 2 to 3 hours, I I will like make a video. You guys can like I'll get the team a shout hi and stuff like that. But um, but yeah, I actually, like I say, I won't be live streaming, and I am upset that I can't live stream. Um, but needs and preferences and stuff like that have to be taken into consideration, and I know for a fact that sorry, I know for a fact that me and my brother probably won't be on our best behaviour during those 24 hours. So I've decided not to live stream. And as promised, I told you that there would be more like video game based videos before video game based videos before the thing. So I have decided that today is because I play a lot of like upsetting and violent games. Today's video is my top 10 deaths in video games, and for once I've put them in order. Go me. Okay, so I will. These are my top 10. Like I say, if you guys have any others that I didn't take into consideration, or any others that you think, why didn't you mention that? Um, then feel free to comment, and I will either explain or I will actually go, oh yeah, maybe I could put those in the next one. Right, so my top 10 video games. Rating from 10 to 1. 10 being, didn't really bother me because I saw it coming, and 1 being, why did you do this? So, number 10 is Gabriel Angelos from the Dawn of... Oh, by the way, massive spoilers. I should have said that before, but massive spoilers. Yeah, number 10, Gabriel Angelos from Dawn of War 2. More specifically, Dawn of War 2 Redemption. I think it was Redemption. One, but yeah, Gabriel Angelos. Because I expected it as soon as it turned out that it was like Kairos was working with the Chaos, with Eliphas and Eliphas and Faravian, and yeah, I was like, yeah, bollocks. And yeah, Gabriel's death really kind of knocked me, and like I say, it was one that was expected, but it didn't mean I liked it. Um, Number 9, Arkham Knight. Spoiler. Poison Ivy. Oh my god. I never... For the only comic book game death on this list, it was the one I knew I had to put up here. Because of the fact that she went literally for the whole game, went from villain to kidnapped to anti-hero. And the villain kidnapped, freed, apprehended anti-hero. And it just left such a, I don't know, it left such an emotional kind of mark on me that even to this day, I probably will never, like, I can understand most video game character deaths, but Poison Ivy is one that I just, probably until they bring out the inevitably decide actually we need a fourth Arkham game. I will probably never understand Poison Ivy's death. Number 8 is Lars from Brutal Legend. Holy shit, pardon my language. In a game that was very kind of tongue-in-cheek and very jokey with itself, I never expected not only for them to kill a main character, not only for them to kill a top main character, but for them to actually kill basically the second protagonist in the entire game. I remember just sitting there and I was talking. Like the first time I saw it, I was talking to my brother, and we were just like, "What?" Because I remember we just kind of stared and we're like, "This doesn't work. This doesn't make sense." But yeah, obviously storyline. You knew he had to die. Number 4, Dom from Gears of War. You knew this was going to be on one of my lists one day. I was a wreck when I watched Dom, because you look at him and you're just. Fable 1, his wife goes missing. Fable 2, he kills his own wife. Fable 3, he commits suicide. And you're like, ah. But it's just the fact of he's driving headfirst in with like a 4x4 full of explosions, and he's just driving and he's still talking to Maria, his wife, and you're just like, don't do this, please don't do this. And you know it has to be him. He has to do it, and it's just just heartbreaking, because your mind slows down what's already slowing down, and you just kind of lock everything away, and you're just like, I can do this, I can do this, and you know you can't, and you just it is a beautiful, if humbling, death, and probably one of the ones I connect with most in all of video games, obviously, since it is this. Number 5, Steve from Resident Evil Code Veronica and Code Veronica X. There's so much I could say about this one. There's just it's one of this is what the next 6 this is what this one and the next 5 are going to do. It's a moment where you just feel the air in and out of the game. It all just changes, and you just, I don't know, you fall away from yourself and you just look around and you're like, you're heartbroken and you're stunned and you're angry and you're and it's one of the most important gaming deaths, because you need it to happen, and even if you don't want it to, you know it's got to. Number 6, you, the protagonist in BioShock, especially only the good ending. I want to point that out. Only the good ending, because in the other endings you're a bit of a dick, but in the good ending, when you free all of the little sisters, and yeah, and you get the ending where, you know, you're in the hospital and they gather around you and they're like holding your hand, and it's a very poignant moment, because obviously BioShock is one of the most open-ended and not particularly open one, but open-ended and open to interpreted games in history, and it's just such a, I don't know. In the game, it's probably in all of the gaming, it's probably one of the more pleasant deaths, because you get to grow old with all these girls that you've set. Like, you grow old and you have all these pretty much your daughters who you've saved, and they stay with you, and yeah, and it is just a really great game. Um, Number 7, Lisa in Silent Hill 1. Why did I even do that? Yeah, Lisa in Silent Hill 1. Um, it's it's probably my favourite Silent Hill death, actually. It's just because it's not over the top. A lot of deaths can be very over the top. A lot of deaths are very kind of, you know, miserable. But Lisa's death in Silent Hill 1 wasn't over the top because you saw it happen in front of you. You couldn't do anything, but you watched it happen. And then Harry runs out of the room and locks the door, and you just you if you go back to the door and you hear her crying after she's transformed, you kind of get sucked away, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm a dick, but you know you have to do it, and a lot of these deaths they have to happen deaths. I've noticed that, but like I say, it doesn't make it any easier. And her crying, if you tap the door, or if you try and go back into the room after you've locked her in there, it's heartbreaking. Number 8, because I couldn't decide on this one. This is the only one where I couldn't decide between two because both deaths were amazing. Major Swift or Water in Fable 3. When Water died the first time I played Fable 3, I was rocked so hard. Because I just didn't want him to. I wanted him to like be fine, and I wanted him to be like, you know, I wanted him to like recover from when he gets possessed and by the crawler and all of that, and it just doesn't happen, and he dies, and the last words are like him talking about how proud his parents would, like how proud his parents would, like the king, new king, the hero's parents would be, and stuff like that, and you're just kind of you're left thinking, why did you do this to us? Why did you do this to us? Why now? Because that's not even cool. And Major Swift, because it proved that Logan was a problem that needed to be cured. I hate the character Logan. I hate him as much as I love him. I have a very complicated relationship with the character Logan. I hate him. I love him. He's needed. He's useless. And the fact that he executes Swift just to prove he could is by far, in my opinion, one of the most evilest moments of that game. Like, he executes Swift because he thinks Swift will, like, help the darkness, help like the darkness and like the crawler and stuff like that. And it's like he has to execute Swift because obviously he has to remind a lot of people what it is that's going against. But you still hate him for executing Swift. But yeah, so number 8 is either Major Swift or Water in Fable 3. Number 9 is Liu Kang's death in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Mortal Kombat is a game that can kill its characters about 42 different times and they still come back in the next game. But when they actually killed Liu, decided at one point that they were going to kill the primary hero of the Mortal Kombat series, and you couldn't stop it. It was because it's so simple the way it's done, but you don't like it at all. And you can't stop yourself. And you can't stop it because it's part of it's an FMV. It's like it's an in-game video. No matter how hard you try, you can't stop the fact that Liu Kang's gonna die. And you know, that's kind of sucky. And it affected me because it was the first time Mortal Kombat had actually killed off a character and said, no, we're not bringing him back. He came back 3 games later, but they still were like, at the time, no, we're not bringing him back. And that really kind of I know, that really shook me up. And number 10, Aerith's death in Final Fantasy VII. Um, you can't put into words when you see that for the first time. I was like 10 or 11 when I watched when my mum watched the scene where Aerith died for the first time, and I remember actually crying, and properly crying over it. You know, I was like, no, God, and it was like, it's just a game, I don't care. And without it, the game couldn't have progressed. And like I say, most of these they're like deaths that had to happen to make the game and make everything like progress and work. But like I say, doesn't mean you guys have to like it. Anyway, so yeah, my top 10 video game deaths. In at number 10, Gabriel Angelos, the man who died to clear the name of the Space Marines. One of the biggest badasses in the Dawn of War series, and to me, probably my favorite Force Commander. Number 9, Poison Ivy in Arkham Knight. I've never seen such a character change in all my life. You know, she's like 5 different roles, including in the end the only thing that really is what saves Gotham. And it was amazing and humbling to watch that happen. Number 3, Lars. Well, number 8/number 3. Lars in Bruce Hall Legend. The game was so slapstick stupid that I didn't actually expect them to kill a character. And then they did. And it was one of the most important characters in the game. And you're left like, ouch. 7/4. Dom in Gears of War. You know it's going to happen, but you don't have to like it. It was just a really sad and really kind of effective way of leading into Gears of War 5. Well, Gears of War 4 was led into Gears of War 5. Anyway, but you know what I mean. 6/5, Steve in Resident Evil Code Veronica. You really just wanted the kid to get home, and they don't let you have it. 5/4, 5/6 rather. You in Bioshock if you get the good ending. It's an open-ended ending with an open translation. You don't know. It's what is the truth and what is a lie. It is literally for me Inception of video gaming. Lisa in Silent Hill 1. Don't knock on the door after you've left if you want her to survive. If you want your emotions to survive, rather. Number 3/number 8, Water /Major Swift in Fable 3. Death that you didn't want to see, but you knew you had to. 9/2, Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Let's just kill off a lead character. And number 1, Aerith. Let's just kill off the lead character, the lead hero. And number 1, Aerith, Final Fantasy VII. You never quite get over that one. Anyway, guys, this is actually quite a long video, so I'm quite impressed with myself. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.